going to be a few good changes as to from the last video, in the sense that hopefully now you can actually read what's on the board. Obviously the joke is still the same because lots of you liked it. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you can read the title, see that we're going to be looking at result clauses. Obviously the clue is in the name, that a result clause focuses on the outcome of an action. So if we look at a couple of English examples, he hit the dog so hard that it died, i.e. the result of him hitting the dog so hard was it died. Or the lorry was so big that it could not fit under the bridge. Now a result clause is fairly easy to recognise in Latin, in that it uses what we call a signpost word. We're going to have a look a little bit more later at what signposts actually are, but they are also followed, this signpost word followed by ut, which we've now met, and also the imperfect subjunctive. So this is now our third clause in Latin that uses ut and the imperfect subjunctive after a purpose clause, and also some indirect commands as well. So if we have a look at an example, we have servus ad eo timebat ut et ugeret. So as you can see, there's our ut, and there's our imperfect subjunctive, which obviously is our present active infinitive with personal endings, so the second principal part with personal endings. We have servus as the nominative, our subject, and timebat the verb. So that leaves ad eo. Ad eo means to such an extent, or so, and that is one of our signpost words. So obviously if we translate, we have the slave was so afraid that he ran away, i.e. the result of him being so afraid was he ran away. Now, if we want to have a look at what some of these common signpost words are, we have tam, which means so, and this is used generally with an adjective or an adverb, i.e. he was so brave. We have ad eo, which means so much or to such an extent, and this is used with a verb, as we saw in that example. The slave was afraid to such an extent. Tantus, which is an adjective meaning so big or so great, declines like bonus. Tot, which means so many. Talis, which means such or of such a kind, which is also an adjective but declines third declension, so declines like fortis. And we also have ita, which means so or in such a way. Just quickly to note that there is a distinction between tot, which obviously means so many, and tantus when it's being used in the plural. But tot milites means so many soldiers. Tanti milites doesn't mean so many soldiers obviously, but tanti is referring to the size, so they are such big soldiers. Now result clauses must be carefully distinguished from, well, purpose clauses in particular, but obviously other clauses that use ut with the imperfect subjunctive, and it's particularly these signpost words. That's why they're called signpost words, because they are used to kind of signal that it's a result clause. So if we look at these two sentences, puer bene laboravit ut exera permitterator, the only difference from that to this one is that we've got tam, so it's puer tam bene laboravit ut exera permitterator. Now obviously because we've got this signpost word, we can tell that this is a result clause, whereas this one, it's just ut with the subjunctive, no signpost word, and so it must be a purpose clause. So obviously the meaning of this is going to express a purpose. So the boy worked well in order that he might be allowed to leave, i.e. the reason why he was working well is because he wanted to leave. That was the purpose behind his action. Whereas in the second one, it's not necessarily the reason why, but it is the result of his action, i.e. the boy worked so well that he was allowed to leave. Just one last thing finally, note that the negative of a result clause is not expressed by ne with the subjunctive like a purpose clause is, but by ut, dot, 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 and then known with the subjunctive. So we have puella tanta, our signpost word, erat ut, and known posset, curere. The subjunctive there has known to show that it's a negative. So the girl was so big that she was not able to run. Curere there is just in the infinitive after possum, as you often get. So just to summarise, result clauses fairly easy to recognise because of their signpost words. If you learn the vocab for the signpost words, then that is half the battle in translating a result clause. Obviously then ut, or ut, dot, 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 known with the imperfect subjunctive. Just one last thing, lots of you were asking for a joke. What's the difference between pea soup and roast beef? Anyone could roast beef. Brilliant.